Amendment by the gentleman from Texas, Mr. McCaul, is listed next on the amendment roster. Does the gentleman wish to offer his amendment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
Clerk shall report the amendment.
Amendment to the amendment in the nature of substitute to H.R. 3674.
Without objection. Reading amendment is dispensed with. Mr. McCaul is recognized for 5 minutes on his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank you for the opportunity to offer this amendment, which authorizes the Cybersecurity Domestic Preparedness Consortium. This is an informal group of universities that have been working together under the Community Cybersecurity Maturity Model, which provides a foundation from which states and communities can develop viable and sustainable cybersecurity programs. The goal of my amendment in this consortium is to ensure a coordinated approach to help train individuals in states and communities to defend against cyber attacks. DHS has already invested in the work that this coordinated effort has yielded. This legislation solidifies the consortium as a permanent and authorized strategy. To date, members of the proposed consortium have conducted 63 cybersecurity exercises with over 3,850 participants. They have delivered cybersecurity training to 53 communities in 22 states and reached over 3,300 students. They have begun implementation of this Community Cybersecurity Maturity Model in 6 states. The majority of the courses taught by the universities in this informal group have been developed through a training grant program in DHS. 7 universities have already worked with DHS and have existing cybersecurity programs. I hope to authorize this consortium through this amendment in order to also take advantage of the DHS grant money that we have already spent on these cybersecurity preparedness programs. This proposed consortium will provide training to state and local first responders and officials specifically for preparing and responding to cybersecurity attacks, develop and update a curriculum and training model for state and local first responders and officials, provide technical assistance services to build and sustain capabilities in support of cybersecurity preparedness and response, conduct cybersecurity training and simulation exercises to defend from and respond to cyber attacks, serve as a single focal point for states and communities seeking advice and assistance on cybersecurity issues, work with federal agencies to tie state and community efforts into existing national programs and initiatives, conduct research to enhance the ability of states and communities to prevent, detect, respond to, and recover from cyber events. Additionally, having worked with Representative Clark's language on fusion centers in this effort, the bill also develops a plan to implement a 1-year voluntary pilot program to test and assess the feasibility, cost, and benefits of providing cybersecurity training to state and local law enforcement personnel through the national network of fusion centers. The Secretary, in coordination with the consortium, can implement a 1-year voluntary pilot program to train state and local law enforcement personnel in the national network of fusion centers in cybersecurity standards, procedures, and best practices. And I appreciate Ms. Clark and the other side of the aisle working with me on this amendment to reach out what I think is a good amendment, a compromise amendment, which ties not only the universities into this effort, but also brings in the fusion centers, and I think, and quite honestly, made this a better amendment. And so thank you for working with me on this, Ms. Clark, and with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Time the gentleman yields back. Is there any further discussion of the McCaul amendment? If there is no further discussion, the question is on agreeing to the amendment offered by Mr. McCaul. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying no. In the opinion of the Chair, the ayes have it, and the amendment is agreed to. We'll now move to the off-roster amendments, and I recognize myself for an off-roster amendment. The clerk should report the amendment.
Amendment to the amendment in the nature of substitute to H.R. 3674, offered by Mr. King of New York.
I ask unanimous consent to waive the reading. Without objection, so ordered. I recognize myself for 5 minutes to explain the amendment. This amendment...
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to reserve a point of order.
Generally reserves a point of order. This amendment inserts references to Title 11 of the National Security Act in 4 locations within the bill to clarify that the authorities the Secretary has to collect cyber threat information, issues cyber threats and warnings of the NCIC Charter are linked to the authorities of the National Security Act. The primary purpose in adding this language is to further demonstrate that the legislation moving through the Committee on Homeland Security is consistent with the processes and authorities established in the National Security Act, authorized through the House Intelligence Bipartisan Legislation, to ensure that there is no confusion that the bills work together to establish a cyber threat information structure where DHS plays a key role and as part of the structure. I want to make it clear by referring to that legislation. This should be a non-controversial amendment that simply strengthens the links between the 2 bills as they move to the floor next week. I yield back. Is there further discussion?
Well, let me just say, Mr. Chair, as you know, we just received copies of it, and I don't doubt your sincerity, but we won't object.
I thank the ranking member for that, and in this climate, I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. If there's no further discussion on the amendment, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Opinion of the Chair, the ayes have it, and the amendment is agreed to.